Hi, I'm John Standefer, and I'm really excited to be able to show you my new Bertoncini John Standefer signature model guitar. Quite a thing. You can tell from first glance that it is kind of odd looking. It's different, but this unusual look is actually an example of form following function. We'll talk about that more as we go. First, a little background on Dave and me. Of course, I've been playing guitar for almost 50 years, and Dave's been building them for about 20, I think. And both of us have had a lot of ideas about guitars over the years, and Dave was kind enough to allow me to expound on all of the likes and dislikes that I've had about guitars, and we tried to cure all of those things and build a custom guitar that would just do everything I wanted it to do. And by the way, we're determined right from the beginning to make this available to the public too as a signature model guitar. Which is nice because it gets all of the R&D money out of it for you. You can get it at a much more reasonable price. Anyway, let me talk a little bit about the three main things that you look for in a guitar, which are sound, of course, and playability, and then appearance. We're going to cover these in the opposite order just a little bit. You can see appearance wise that actually the body shape of this guitar and the head shape and so forth are very much like old archtop guitars from the 30s and 40s. I like old things, and I wanted to draw from the past a little bit for appearance. But other than that, there is this offset body, which is in lieu of a cutaway. And then the sound holes are in odd locations. And in fact, there's even one over there on the top bow. And then, of course, the woods that we chose, which are koa and Sitka spruce, and the binding and purfling, which you'll see some close-ups of later, are really pretty. And even the tuning machines, and the finish is like a hand-rubbed furniture finish. It doesn't look like a regular guitar finish, and there's a reason for it, which we'll discuss later. But anyway, all of the looks features are pretty unusual in and of themselves. But let's look at why it looks this way. A lot of it has to do with playability. And here's my big issue is ergonomics. I've always felt that a guitar is about the most unergonomic thing there is. Normally, you would set the guitar here, on your lap, and then every time you have to reach a difficult chord, you're down here trying to get it, or you sit in classical position with your leg up here and you're all twisted into a knot that way. But either way, I find it to be very uncomfortable. I can't sit in any of those positions for very long without getting tired. So, this guitar, you ready for the weird thing? Has a knee tunnel in it that sits on my knee and holds the guitar at the correct angle for playing. And by the way, the body is a little bit short, which allows the neck to sink in further. And you can see from the end that it's also wedge shaped, which means it tilts back against my body. So once I set that there, tilt this back, the neck being in the position that it's in, and it's a 25-inch scale. All of those things help make the guitar feel and play good. I can sit flat-footed on a chair and play all day without getting tired. I can reach the biggest chord I've got without stretching or reaching at all. So it's just a wonderful thing for just feel, setting it in your lap. All right, so then, of course, I'm going for as low of an action as I can, being a fingerstyle player, and I've cut the nut a little bit extra wide to have string separation, and so forth and so on. So all of those things are going to affect playability. And then to the sound end of things, here's what I think. I think that the most important person to please about a guitar sound is the player. So I wanted the guitar to sound good to me. I didn't want the whole, shooting the sound out here 6 feet to somebody. I wanted it to sound good right here. So all of these holes being up around my head allow the sound to just sort of leak out all around me. It's kind of like this big fat stereo sort of effect. And as a result, by the way, it doesn't sound as good as it could 6 feet away because it's not projecting distance. It's more of an up close guitar, kind of an intimate thing. But it makes it great for mic the guitar. If you get it anywhere within this sphere of where my head is, it sounds great. And of course, if I'm going to be playing to any more people than that, I'm going to be plugged in anyway. And I've got an LR Baggs Anthem SL system in the guitar, which is just a great new system from him. So, anyway, I've got all of these things that are going to make the sound work well. So, let me show you just a few of the design features here in a little slideshow, and you can take a look. Okay, so, first of all, you can see that the body size is actually a little bit smaller than most guitars, and we were trying to get the biggest sound out of a small guitar. So, the offset body instead of a cutaway actually helps that a little bit and also gives us a tremendous amount of reach up the neck, more than any regular guitar I've played. It's a great thing. The sound hole location, as I mentioned, is to try to get the sound up close to me. And here you can see also a little bit of that pretty binding and purfling and all of that. The woods and the thicknesses and the bracing and the voicing of that bracing and so forth is all critical to the sound. And you might notice that not only is the fingerboard tongue not glued to the top of the guitar, it's sticking up above it. The neck angle, the way it joins the guitar, is very different. The strings are pulling up rather than pulling back from the bridge. So that upward angle is something that a lot of modern luthiers feel makes the guitar sound better as well. And even this finish, Dave rubs the wood down to 12,000 grit and then finishes it with something like an oil finish, a little bit more like an old world violin finish would be, to try to allow the wood to still breathe, the pores to be open, and the finish itself is very, very thin in comparison to a plastic finish that, like, encases the guitar in a shell that keeps it from vibrating. Also, you'll see these arm rests on the front and the back rest on the back of the guitar. Those are designed to keep my arm and my ribs away from the guitar a little bit so that it can vibrate more freely. I discovered that because the top and back of this particular guitar are so vibrant, they're practically flopping around like a fish when you're playing. So having these rests on there keeps me from hampering that with just body damping. So anyway, these are all the things that have been going into this guitar. Now, as I mentioned, this guitar was originally made just for me, but it is available as the John Standefer signature model. And when I come back here, I'm going to have my mic moved around so that I can show you a little bit about what this thing sounds like. Here we go. Okay, we're back, and with this new microphone stuck up here. I just wanted to play us out with a tune now, and if you're interested in taking a look at a Bertoncini guitar, or maybe owning a John Standefer signature model or whatever, look at his website at bertonciniguitars.com, or check out mine at johnstandefer.com, and maybe shoot us an email or whatever. Let us know what you think. Anyway, thanks for letting us share, and here we go.